Oh hey. The PGYTECH OneMo has served as my main camera bag for 6 months now, so I figured we should talk about what I do and don't like about it, and hopefully PGYTECH can make the version 2 into the perfect backpack. So the OneMo is a 25 litre backpack that can expand by an extra 5 litres by opening up this front section that fits a disassembled DJI RS2 quite nicely. Though you do look like a bit of a turtle when you're wearing it fully expanded. If you'd rather strap your gear to the outside instead, you've got plenty of loops all the way around the perimeter of the front that you can attach the included straps to. Almost most important of all though, it can stand up on its own even when empty. On the top, back and left hand sides, you have handles which can be used for normal carry, or putting it into an overhead compartment, as well as this sort of briefcase mode, where you tuck the straps into these compartments and carry it by the side handle. I've never done it before, but it's there if that's your kind of thing, I guess. The back handle also doubles as a suitcase sleeve. The back is decently padded, so your gear won't stab you, but it is pretty dense. The straps are nice and wide, but with the same padding. The OneMo has a few tricks up its straps. On the left side, you've got lens cap holders, one for a small cap and one for a larger one. They're just elastic bands, so I wouldn't leave a cap in there long term, but just while you're snapping some pics while traveling, I can see them being pretty useful. On the other strap, there's this little zipped pocket, but I'm not really sure what it can even be used for, because it's quite small, and it's extremely tight when you're wearing the bag. So I guess you could keep a card or a multi-tool in there, but you really won't be able to access it while you're wearing it. I think they should make this much easier to access, because as it is, I just can't even use it. You've got a cross strap for extra support if you really load the bag up for a hike or something. I actually hate the dangly straps on bags because they always seem to get in the way of me zipping and unzipping the main flap. So in future, can all bag companies please just give me a way to wrangle the buggers and keep them tight to the actual bag. There's only 2 side access zippers on the right compared to some other bags with 2 on either side, but I haven't missed them, and I honestly don't use the side access all that much since I use this for work, so I kind of just set it down and open it up, but it's definitely good to have, especially if you're traveling with it. They're pretty large openings, more than enough for a mirrorless camera, but if you've got an R3, a Z9, or something with a grip on it, it'll be a bit tight, so make sure it's the right way in, otherwise it's going to be hard to pull out. It does look like there's enough room for a Gen 2 version to expand them a bit more, which I'd definitely be on board for. Inside the lockable quick access flap is an RFID protected zipped pocket, and the bottom has 3 battery pockets with these clever little charging indicators in it. On the other side, you've got a flappy zipper bit with a mesh pocket and another zipper inside, as well as a bottle or tripod leg holder. You really won't be able to fit any decent sized water bottle in here, but it does fit a beer pretty well. Alright, let's open this sucker up because some of my biggest complaints are to do with the inside. The first thing you'll notice is that the OneMo actually opens up sideways. I didn't really know how to feel about this to begin with, but I've decided I actually quite like it because it means when you do open it up, the flap doesn't come out as far as if it were at the bottom. So if you're in a small space, it's less in the way. Small thing, but I'm a fan. What I'm not a fan of though is the internal laptop compartment. Having to open the whole bag to access it is just annoying. It is at least big though and can hold a 16-inch laptop, but it's only slightly raised off the bottom, so not a ton of impact protection either. I also really like the green interior, which makes all my camera doodads a lot harder to lose. So this is how I have mine set up at the moment. I usually have the A1 with the grip on it down here, but I'm actually currently using that to film the overhead. And that's normally in here with the grip and the 16-35 f2.8. In this first little section, I've got the Godox X Pro S flash trigger, a little IR remote, and then under this divider, I've got a laser measurer and spare batteries. In the next section is the Godox 8300 Pro with its battery removed, because that's the best way to store batteries for health reasons. Above that, I've got my Mavic 2 Pro with its batteries, controller, and spare propellers underneath it. So that's the stuff that's constantly in the bag, whereas this section above is for stuff that can be swapped in and out. It's a decent amount of room, so I can use it to add 3 medium-sized lenses to my kit, or 1 big zoom like the Tamron 35-150. It can fit my little audio bag and headphones, or another camera body with lens. It's a big space. I can put my FX6 in it. The top section isn't flat or square though, which I think I'd prefer for storage reasons, but I assume it's this way to make the bag look sleeker and less chunky. It's a trade-off, I guess. When you get the OneMo, it comes with this shoulder bag that slots perfectly into this lower section, but we'll talk about that later. Alright, now on to the dividers, which are simultaneously the best and worst part of the OneMo. Here's a quick rundown of the removable dividers. Now on to this main one, which is simultaneously the best thing to ever happen to camera bags and is so close to being perfect. It's a sturdy padded divider with your normal Velcro on the sides, but it's also got loops on each side that you can actually use to strap it in and fasten it down, so it's basically an immovable wall, which reminds me of the Pelican TrackPack system, and I frackin' love solid dividers. So, what's the catch? Well, there's only one of them, and the bottom of it is sewn into that one spot, so that's the only place it can go. We were this close to greatness. As for the rest of the dividers, they're built well enough, and they're also pretty sturdy, but in a big old stroke of stupid, they didn't provide any dividers that can span the distance of the bag's top section. Look at these. This one gets kinda close, but it doesn't match the slant of the front of the bag, and if you were to overpack it even a little bit, it would just completely tear off again, and then what's the point? Even my drone compartment from earlier was made up of 2 dividers, because a single one isn't long enough, and the RFID compartment isn't sticky. This is actually a problem that plagues all bags with side access, because to have the side access be able to open, you can't have anything stuck to it or it'll unstick and interfere with the opening of the side access. These issues could be solved by their own ingenious divider, if only they'd adapt it just a little bit. So here's my pitch. Use this divider style everywhere, but don't sew it permanently to the bottom of the base. Just keep it Velcro on the bottom and then put these loops everywhere, all along the perimeter of the bag and all along the tops of the dividers. That way you end up with a strong, sturdy divider that can be placed anywhere you want, and it won't even interfere with the quick access. You could also have shorter dividers to allow for more customizability, and then daisy chain them if you need more length. And they'd keep their rigidity because they're Velcroed to the base, while also being tightened to each other with the loops. In theory, it's perfect. And it's a free idea, so PGYTECH, please use it, and then maybe send it to me so I can use it. As it is, however, the almost perfect divider serves more like a shelf, to keep all your gear in place if you use the included sling bag and plan to pull it out of the side access. Speaking of the sling bag, it fits snugly into the lower section of the bag and through the side access, and is pretty versatile. It's made of the same weather and scratch resistant material as the main bag, and similarly has a bunch of mounting points that let you use it as either a sling bag, a belt bag, or even mount it to the main bag for even more storage, making the whole package 35 liters. The bag itself has a main compartment that perfectly fits the Mavic 2 Pro, 2 batteries, and its remote, or whatever lenses or cameras you can fit in that space. If that's not enough room though, then luckily for you, there's an expandable compartment on the top, bringing its total capacity to 5 liters. It's a pretty nice little bag. The only improvement I'd suggest would be a way to unzip the lid so the compartments can be combined, and obviously implement my brilliant divider system idea. In Australia, the OneMo retails for around $300 dues, or 200 USD, which makes it very competitive in the mid-range while still having really nice materials and build quality. I haven't even had a loose thread on this thing, and I've been using it every day, putting it down on concrete, grass, gravel, and dirt. I did a bunch of research before spending my own money on this bag, and I'm very happy with it. It's comfortable and holds everything I need it to, while still looking pretty good. I definitely have issues with it, but it's nothing that stops it from still being one of the best options on the market. If they make a second version of this that fixes the problems I've mentioned in the video, then I'll probably buy it again, and I think you should probably buy it too. If you're after a more street photography / everyday carry focused bag, I'll be reviewing the PGYTECH OneGo, which I also bought, because it looks really nice and it's a lot cheaper than a certain competitor's certain similar looking bag. If this video has helped you at all, feel free to click the like button, and if you didn't, there's no real reason to click dislike because you can't see the dislike counter anyway. Let me know in the comments what camera bag you're using and you'll see me next time. See ya!